Random House Audio presents The Botox Diaries by Janice Kaplan and Lynn Schnernberger. Read for you by Anna Gasteyer. Champagne corks are popping, and it's only 5 a.m. "Darling," Lucy trills as I groggily cradle the phone between my ear and my goose-down pillow. "I didn't wake you, did I?" Of course not. Why would I be asleep at this hour when I could be up repotting the azaleas? "Where are you? Traveling?" "L.A., darling," Lucy says. "Working." I knew that. When she's in New York, Lucy lives around the corner in a big Tudor house, but she regularly packs off to Burbank to produce glamorous TV shows. Being on the opposite coast causes her to sink into saying "darling" too much. "Everything okay?" I ask. "Absolutely, yes," Lucy says as I hear another champagne cork popping. She bursts into giggles. "Watch it, darling." "What's going on there?" I ask. "Oh, it's not what you think. We're rehearsing for a show and there's a scene with Dom Perignon. We're using real French champagne, even for the sound check." French champagne. I sit up, abruptly realizing that when the phone rang, I had been dreaming about Jacques, my very own Frenchman. We were lying naked, with our arms wrapped around each other at the edge of a warm, sunny beach. He was kissing me passionately as the waves lapped over us. Wait a minute. Didn't I see that same scene in some old movie? I put the phone down and noticed the TV across the room is still flickering. I must have fallen asleep watching From Here to Eternity. Again. "Yoo-hoo!" Lucy calls impatiently. "Earth to Jess. You still with me?" I clear my throat. "Jacques," I say. "We were making love." "Jacques? Jacques is there?" Lucy screams so loudly across the country that she doesn't even need her brand new cherry red Nokia 120000 rich cell phone. "No, Jacques isn't here. Of course not. We were on the beach." That's not what I meant to say. I mean, I was dreaming about him on the beach. Nude. I managed to stop myself before I get to the climax. "So, what's going on?" I ask, wondering why this call couldn't have waited for daybreak. "I'm so sorry to bother you," Lucy says, taking a deep breath. "But it's about the bake sale." "Ah, right. The 5th grade bake sale. Now, that's certainly worth a call at 5 a.m. "I need a favor, darling," Lucy says. "Dan said he'd pick up something for Lily to bring, but that means it will be store-bought. Ugh, I'll look like a bad mother. So, 2 questions. What are you making for Jen to take, and would you mind very much making double?" Double what? I haven't even given it a thought. I've just barely recovered from making nachos to send to school last week for International Lunch Day. "Cupcakes," I say brightly. "Jen and I are going to make cupcakes." "I knew it," Lucy says gleefully. "You make the best cupcakes, and you could make Jen's with pink frosting and Lily's with blue frosting, so they'd each feel special." I groan. That's just what I need. Cooking instructions from 3,000 miles away. "Lucy, stick to producing your show and I'll produce the cupcakes, okay?" "I'm sorry," Lucy says, sounding genuinely contrite. Now I feel bad for jumping at her, so I try to compensate. Or overcompensate, as usual. "Listen, why doesn't Lily come over tonight and the girls can make the cupcakes together? Then they can decorate them any way they want. And so that after the girls are asleep, I'll probably gorge on gobs of leftover frosting?" "Oh, that's so sweet of you," Lucy says. "Lily will love that. I'll call Dan and let him know." Dan, the husband of the year. Tell Dan that Lily should come over for dinner too. It'll be easier for him. I have to stop. In another minute, I'll be offering to run over and scrub her bathrooms and sleep with her husband so that her being away doesn't inconvenience anybody too much. "Are you sure it's not too much trouble?" Lucy asks. "Of course not," I say. "Well, we need to have a girls' night for you and me as soon as I get back," Lucy says. Then, lowering her voice, she whispers into the cell phone, "You won't believe what's happened on this trip." Another champagne cork pops in the background, and Lucy dissolves into giggles. When we hang up, I pull the comforter up around my shoulders. I should try to fall asleep, but the minute I close my eyes, I see Jacques again on that beach. Jacques is my ex. In fact, he happened so long ago that he's an XXX. Alas, it's the triple X elements of him that I seem to miss the most. I make myself sit up and flick on the reading lamp on the bedside table. As long as I'm awake, I might as well get something done since my to-do list is longer than the newly revised tax code. But I end up spending the next hour flicking through the Land's End catalog and poring over pictures of the Kindest Cut bathing suits. All modeled by women, more or less my age, apparently grateful for the extra bra support and the no-ride backside. The one-piece suits are cut high on top, low on bottom, and loose all around. How did I get this catalog anyway? Do the fashion police know I'm over 40? From the next bedroom, I hear my daughter Jen moving around, humming happily to herself. Why would I worry about the long-gone bikini-wearing days when the present is blessed by a loving daughter with a crooked smile who gets up in the mornings singing? Sure enough, a minute later she comes bounding into my room. "Hey, Mom, want to hear my new song?" she asks, bursting with more energy than Britney Spears in a Pepsi commercial. "Sure," I say, sitting back with a smile. My little girl, well, not as little as I think she is, has on a teeny tiny pink nightgown that makes her look more baby doll than baby. Even straight from bed, her skin is dewy and her big brown eyes are clear and bright. Jen grins and poses dramatically at the foot of the bed, arms flung out wide and hips bouncing from side to side as she starts to sing. It takes me a minute to register the tune, but then I get it. That Madonna song, Like a Virgin. Like a virgin? She's 11 years old, for heaven's sake. "Love your singing," I venture, trying to be supportive. But I've got to know, where the heck did you learn that song? "They play it on the oldies station," she says, jumping onto my bed. Madonna on the oldies station. I shudder to think where that puts the Rolling Stones. Or me. "I'm gonna sing it for Ethan," Jen says excitedly. Ethan, her boyfriend. One of us has to have one, although hers is 12. "You are not going to sing that for him," I say, just a little too prissily. I look around the room to see if my mother just came in, because that was definitely her voice. I soften my position. I mean, the whole act might be a little much. "Well, I'll sing it, but I won't wear the belly shirt, okay?" she asks with a mischievous twinkle. Then suddenly she leans over and looks at me wide-eyed. "Mom, your hair! What happened? It's all gray." "What do you mean?" My hand flies up to my head. "It's all gray," Jen repeats. "Ooh, ick." Horrified, I tug at my roots. Is it possible? I've avoided the L'Oreal aisle at the drugstore for all these years, and now it's suddenly an emergency. "How bad does it look?" I ask anxiously. "Pretty bad," Jen says. But then she breaks into giggles. "April Fools!" she crows triumphantly. "Got me," I say, laughing and throwing the pillow at her as she ducks, doubled over in laughter. Scary that she knew I'd buy into anything about looking old. Suddenly, it occurs to me what my dream this morning was all about. It's April 1st. My subconscious knew the date. 16 years ago today, over a breakfast of crepes and champagne, Jacques, my passionate French lover, handed me a sapphire and diamond ring and asked if I'd marry him. I gasped and said, "This isn't an April Fool's joke, is it?" To which he said, "What mean, April Fools?" Perhaps I should have taken our cultural chasm as a sign that the marriage wasn't going to last. Kisses in cafes, long, luxurious lovemaking, and out-of-body orgasms, okay, even many of them, doesn't necessarily a solid marriage make, although it does take you a while to notice. And I didn't really have anyone to blame but myself when 6 years later the marriage crashed. But enough. I haven't even showered yet, and already I've dreamed about sex with my ex, been April Fooled into feeling like Barbara Bush, and gotten vicariously giddy on Dom Perignon. But today's a work day, and I have a great idea for the charity where I'm gainfully employed, at least part-time. Of course, if I don't get moving, I'll be presenting the plan in my PJs. The day after Lucy jets back from the coast, she calls, during daylight hours, wanting to have lunch. "There's a new sushi place near my office," she says. "Want to try it tomorrow?" "Sure," I say agreeably. "I'll have my assistant Tracy make a reservation," she says, then adds in a conspiratorial whisper, "By the way, the chef is Iguro Mashikuro. I always love his eel." The next morning at 11 a.m., I'm dressed in black capris and my best cashmere sweater set when the skies turn black. Maybe I'll call Lucy and postpone. We can always meet tomorrow morning at Dell's. No, braving Hurricane Andrew would be better than breakfast at Dell's, the local landmark that's been serving inedible food since 1952. 37 minutes later, after I get off the train in Grand Central Station, I head for the taxi stand. The people...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?